Sunscreen doesn't protect against skin cancer? All right, enough. Let's break down this scientifically to prove that sunscreen does protect against skin cancer. It does prevent premature aging. And let's analyze whether chemical sunscreens are dangerous and hormone disruptors like people are claiming all over social media. Let's get to the facts. Sunscreen has been proven to help reduce the risk of melanoma, like in a landmark study in Australia that showed a 50% reduction in the risk of melanoma by use of protective skin care. Squamous cell carcinoma shows a 40 to 70% decreased risk of cancer with sunscreen use. The only association where there's less likely or mixed evidence is about basal cell carcinoma. Chemical screens contain toxics that could be toxic to humans. Well, let's take a look at that scientifically. Animal studies only have shown that sunscreen's ingredients like oxybenzoin can cause hormonal disruption in really significantly high doses, but that's not relevant to the doses absorbed topically. These studies injected them, or they ingested huge amounts of this ingredient to cause the hormone disruption. To date, there is no study showing systemic blood levels significant enough to cause any kind of toxicity or levels to cause cancer. Absorption does show an increase in blood levels, but none of these blood levels are considered toxic. The FDA is closely monitoring the situation. There are ongoing studies to show that, but to date, there's no evidence for hormone disruption or cancer caused by the ingredients in chemical sunscreen. Sunscreen also protects against sun damage. Brown spots, or sunspots some people call it, fine lines, wrinkles, collagen breakdown. This is evidence of someone who never used sunscreen and was chronically in the sun. Even though dark pigmented, you still can get sun damage from the sun. That's why we use sunscreen not only to prevent skin cancer, but prevent premature aging. If you don't worry about premature aging like this, in certain parts of the world, chemical sunscreens are banned. Not because it's toxic to humans, but it could be toxic to the coral reef. Yes, there are studies showing that chemical sunscreens and the ingredients in them could have a damaging effect on coral reefs. That's why in certain parts of the world, they're actually banned. However, they're not toxic to humans. So if you're going to go to Hawaii or other areas where they're banned, bring your mineral-based sunscreen. Ooh, quite refreshing.